In the summer of 1982, I decided that I would be a poet. Since arriving in Toronto in 1977, ostensibly for the purpose of studying the humanities at the University of Toronto, a worthless undertaking from which I many times withdrew and finally abandoned, I had already written several hundred poems. Yet, while many of my friends thought of me as a poet, I had little interest in refining my piles of scribblings, publishing them, or reading them in public. For 5 years, I worked at more than 20 odd jobs, spending my many free hours and days reading widely, traveling, wandering the streets and hitting the bars of Toronto, each day drinking excessively, a habit I have indulged in since adolescence. My friends, with youthful aspirations to literature, were mostly off searching for something in Europe. I thought that I might have found whatever it was in the cantinas of southern Mexico and Guatemala. Mostly, I wished to do as little as possible in terms of being a productive citizen, and Toronto seemed as fine a city as any for this. If I had any credo, it's best summed up by John Glasgow in his Memoirs of Montparnasse. What do I mean to do with my youth, my life? Why, I'm going to enjoy myself. I'm going to enjoy myself. I'm going to enjoy myself. In the cool glimmer of a winter moon, there lies the skeleton of my love. I hate you because I hate the poor who spend their money on beer instead of machine guns. The shrink leaned back in his chair and closed his eyes. After a while, he stirred and began to mumble, schizophrenic, paranoia, stelazine. The people I know are sick, and I write sick poems. In the end, it was the fear of annihilation that did us in. In the end, it was the fear of annihilation that did us in. Sometimes it is only the benzodrine that keeps us going. God is coming back to Earth next week. God is coming back to Earth next week. Cold evening wind. I give a wino my last cigarette.